Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I want to talk about how there are potentially over 5 billion synthetic AMC shares currently floating around. This is the most up-to-date number at the moment. And today I want to talk about how that number is calculated, how certain we are of that number, and what other things could be potentially impacting the true count of synthetic shares out there right now. Trust me guys, you do not want to miss this video, so stay tuned and let's make some money. But guys, before I dive into the video, I just want to give a massive shout out to the 3,200 of you that have currently dinged that notification bell, because you guys are always the first to watch a new video as soon as it's released. So guys, be sure to drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell if you haven't already, so that you don't miss another video just like this one. And now I want to dive straight in with the key information. So, Aron is a beautiful genius. Do you realise what this silverback did? He gave you the share count. It's on the Saytech website. 7.2 billion existing AMC shares currently. Read for more info. Obviously this is 7 hours ago, so it's a little outdated, and I'll give you the live calculation right now a little later in the video. Right now the sample size is about 1,000 apes, which is okay. 1,000 apes surveyed to be holding a total of 1.7 million AMC shares. This yields an existing share count of 7.2 billion AMC shares. Here's the crazy part. I ran the numbers with an initial sample size of 444 and I got 4.8 billion AMC shares existing. I thought it would decrease as the sample size got larger, but it didn't. It's now up to 1.7 million with a 1,000 sample size is 7.2 billion total existing AMC shares. This is insane. Now some of you may say that that sample size is small. However, I disagree. Statisticians and pollsters at Pew Research Center conduct surveys using a sample size of 1,000 people to represent the entire US, hundreds of millions of Americans. As you see, this is very common and an adequate sample size for researchers using n equals 328m. 0.1% of a population is enough as a sample size with a 95% confidence interval. As such, if we get at least our current sample size to 4,100 apes, we can reduce the margin of error to 1.5%. Again, this is huge. Aron is indirectly allowing us to find out a good estimate for the total number of existing AMC shares, legal shares and illegal synthetic shorts, or synthetic shares. Please spread the word about this. Tell all the apes you know about this. Tell them to join on the app to vote and be part of the sample size. Here's the link, and I'll leave that link in the description as well as this Reddit post. Shills will downvote this and spread FUD in the comments to discourage apes from helping to find out the total number of existing AMC shares, but this platform provided by Aron only includes verified shares linked from brokerages and is legit. The sample size is adequate. Aron is a legend. He couldn't legally reveal to us the number of synthetics, but gave us a platform to do so. Spread the word. We have the share count in our hands. We just need to take action to get more precise measurements. Let's go, apes. I obviously know that this data is extrapolated from these numbers and it will not be a perfect representation of the actual number. And again, that's what I want to cover later in the video of what factors can impact that and bias it. But this is the best chance we have at finding the legitimate share count, legal and illegal shares totaled. So anyone trying to degrade this social experiment and the platform Aron is giving us here is spreading FUD. We need to encourage all apes to vote, regardless of share size, whether it's 1 share, 10 shares, 100 shares, 1,000 shares, anything, just please participate. I expect the extreme outliers on both sides of the shareholding spectrum to cancel each other out, hence giving us a more accurate representation of the total number of shares. Unfortunately, there's a small selection problem due to many European apes being unable to contribute. However, we'll have to work with what we've got here. Increase the margin of error and derive more conservative estimates, in the event that it were to negatively skew the data. It would still be billions of shares regardless, validating our due diligence and further supplementing our proof that hedges are creating tons of synthetic shares in according with all the past data we've collected and matching what professionals in the finance industry, such as investment portfolio manager Peter Han, have been suspecting all along. Billions of synthetics. Silverback Aron is giving us the real share count right here. So let's dive into the meat and potatoes of today's video and calculate just how many synthetic shares there potentially are. Here's the Say platform that Aron directs you to, and here's the stamp of approval for verified shares. To actually vote in any of these polls, you have to link your trading account and therefore verify your AMC shareholdings. There's currently 9.2 thousand upvotes on this post, and they've linked their accounts and own collectively 11.3 million shares. If we run the numbers on that, 11.3 million shares divided by 9,200 apes is 1,228 shares per ape. Now, back in May, Aron said that there was about 4.1 million individual shareholders or individual apes. So 1,228 shares times 4.1 million apes is 5 billion shares, just over. Now, if you didn't already know, there's only 513 million legally issued shares, as confirmed by Aron. But obviously that doesn't count all of the illegally issued synthetic shorts and synthetic shares. Now, obviously, like the post, some of you might say, well, 11,000 apes is a very small sample size compared to 4.1 million individual shareholders. So let's use a sample size calculator from calculators.net. So let's plug in the details, and let's start by saying that we want to be 99.99% confident that our calculation is accurate. We then plug in the 11,000 sample size and the 4.1 million total holders, and that gives us a margin error of 1.85%. As in there's plus or minus 1.85% on 5 billion shares, as in there's either 5.1 billion shares or around 4.9 billion shares. Fairly accurate, and that's 99% certain that it's 5.1 or 4.9, or between there somewhere. Now, obviously, some of you might say, well, what about this population proportion? Again, let's change it to 10%, and that only decreases our margin of error to 1.11%. So if we reduce the population proportion, it's even more accurate that it's close to around 5 billion shares. Again, if we flip it completely the other way around to say 80%, it just changes our margin of error to 1.48%. The closer you get to either 99% or 0%, the margin of error decreases, and therefore using a 50% population proportion gives you the largest margin of error. Now, some of you might say, well, I think this is going to be overcounted because those people that just own 1 or 2 or maybe 3 shares in AMC aren't going to vote. And that's absolutely a possibility. Therefore, we would be overestimating the true number of synthetic shares. But also on the flip side, don't forget that Vanguard, Blackrock, Invesco, Jane Street Corp, Geodode Capital Management, and all those other institutions aren't going to assign someone to sign up for Aron's silly little website. So these shareholders that own 37 million shares, 27 million shares, 6 million shares, and so on, won't be included in that verified share count. So therefore, I think you really have to discount people at both ends of the spectrum. Ignore the institutions that own millions and millions and millions of shares, but also ignore the people that own 1 or 2 shares, for example. Again, if we scroll up on the Whale Wisdom website, we can see that institutions own around 115 million AMC shares that we're completely ignoring from this share count. Guys, that is absolutely crazy that Aron has set up this platform where we can verify our shares and bring together all of the apes to see just how many shares we own. Therefore, that's why it's so important to sign up for this website, link your account and upvote this post to be included into that total. I've just done a quick refresh and we're now up to 10.1k votes with 12.6 million shares. That's great stuff. Again, just doing a quick recount and extrapolation with the updated data, that now takes us to 5.1 billion shares when extrapolated. Again, I'll leave the link in the description below so that you can sign up to this website and make sure you're included and represented in this count. While I'm looking at 13F filings, I wanted to update you on some of the new positions. The New York State Common Retirement Fund just added 178,000 shares to their position. In addition to that, Mint Tower Capital Management just sold off 147,000 of their put options, meaning they believe that AMC is currently as low as it's going to go, so they're going to take their profits and potentially will end up buying AMC shares with those put profits. On top of this again, we've got Arizona State Retirement System adding an additional 77,772 shares in AMC. Clearly these pension funds know something we don't and they're massively adding to their position. They must think AMC is going sky high to the moon. I also wanted to give you a better way to reach the SEC. Clearly their website isn't manned and they probably aren't reading through all of our complaints through their helpline. So I think the best way to reach the SEC is on the hub. Maybe if you just leave a comment on the hub saying that I'd like to file a complaint regarding the illegal market manipulation of AMC and GameStop stocks, they'd be more likely to see it because they probably spend more time on the hub than they do doing actual work. In all seriousness though, whatever way we can get hold of the SEC is a good thing, whether it's filing a complaint through their website or leaving them messages on the hub so they can find it during work hours. Guys, be sure to let me know down in the comments below what you think about there being potentially 5 billion synthetic AMC shares floating around out there right now. And if you haven't already, I'd really consider checking out the Patreon and the private Discord and becoming part of the team so you can get urgent updates and due diligence and news about AMC like this before I even make a video, linked in the description below. And as always guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out some of my others. Alternatively, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers!